What was the scariest moment you've had on vacation? Lost my baby brother at Seaside Boardwalk. My family went crazy for about an hour. Finally found him sitting on the bar at outside saloon surrounded by bikers, their chicks. Bowl of popcorn and a tall soda. They were all facing the boardwalk, walking people go by waiting to see if he recognized anyone looking for him. Went vacationing in Mexico with my family when I was 9. Lost my parents in a marketplace in Cancun and tried to tell a guy I was trying to find my family. He told me he'd find me a new one, moments before my father arrived. Riding a travel bus along a narrow cliffside road in the Cordillera Central Mountain Range in the Philippines. Not me, but in high school my friend was on vacation with his family in Costa Rica. He went out surfing pretty far before he noticed someone even farther out waving to him for help. As he got closer, he realized the guy had kids with him. The man asked my friend to bring his kids to shore and then come back to help him. My friend got the kids in safely, but by the time he got back to the man, he had drowned from exhaustion. My friend had to paddle this guy's body back to shore where his family was waiting. My friend was never really the same. Pretty simple, really. Camping on the beach in Mexico, middle of the night, and we are all sleeping. Everyone in our group's tents get robbed, with all of us fucking asleep in them. That's some serious boogeyman shit. Woman next door to me in a hotel was murdered. I heard her screaming, "Get out of here," a lot. Called the cops first and then the front help desk to tell them the situation. Cops show up and start questioning me, asking if I knew her, was in the room, or if I saw anyone else. I didn't know her, never left my room except to answer the door for the police, and never saw anyone else. Turns out she was running from her ex-boyfriend as he was a known abuser, and he finally tracked her down. I didn't learn any of this until I saw a news article about the hotel about a week later. Fucking crazy. On an overnight bus from Delhi to Dharamsala. I am female and was 26 at the time. We stopped at a gas station in the night so we could use a restroom. I was the last in line, and when I came out, the bus was taking off and headed back onto the highway. I sprinted after it, screaming no over and over at the top of my lungs. Someone must have heard or seen me and the bus stopped. I truly do not know what I would have done had I really been left behind. My mom and cousin, her nephew, traveled abroad. He had a severe allergic reaction to a pill he took and suffocated, died. My mom had to perform CPR on him, go to the hospital after getting exhausted, then arrange to have him flown back to America for burial. My uncle decided to fuck around on a trail in Yellowstone near some hot pools. He was walking backwards on the trail and fucking fell off right onto the crust near the hot pools. By sheer luck, he didn't fall through. It was horrifying. I thought we were witnessing a man die. First day of my first international trip, traveling alone. Went to a pub in London, had a few pints. Walked out the door to go back to my hotel and was attacked by a young man with a razor blade. He cut open my face down to the bone and then slashed me on the temple. Spent the next 3 days in the hospital bandaged up like the Invisible Man, not knowing what my face looked like underneath. When I finally left the hospital, I had to borrow clothes, including underwear since mine had all gotten saturated with blood. Me and my mother were having coffee in a market in Nicaragua in 2013, minding our own business sitting right by the road, when suddenly a motorbike pulled up at the intersection where a group guys were just chatting. Motorbike guys pulled out a semi-auto-looking gun and shot all 4 before pulling off. I was mountain biking in Bolivia on the death road and stupidly wiped out on some loose gravel. I slid out and stopped right at the edge of a gigantic cliff, so close to going over the edge. I badly bruised my knee but was otherwise okay and able to finish the ride. I am a lot more cautious about my mountain bike trail surfaces now. Was backpacking on Catalina Island with a girls group. Set up camp for the night, then huddled in a tent while a herd of buffalo stampeded right to our spot, ran around the tent, then settled for the night. Just about pooped my pants. Apparently the males are kind of aggressive as they are on birth control for population control on the island. Poor, horny souls. When I was 12, my dad took me to the Grand Canyon. He had bad arthritis and couldn't walk well. So I asked if he wanted to walk down a trail, and he said he'd stay put but I could go. I walked down the trail like a switchback, only a little ways. Then I turned to see if I could see my dad and was waving to try to get his attention. I kept waving and backing up and waving, then turned, and my back heel was right at the edge of the Grand Canyon. I was not the smartest kid. Got bitten on the neck by a cheeky monkey in a park in Vietnam. Did not have any rabies vaccination, and I had had to rush to the nearest hospital to get the shot. Scary as hell as I was traveling solo. I was with my family in Jamaica when I was 16. I was swimming in the ocean with my younger brother when a local man literally grabbed me and started swimming me out to sea towards a boat with other men on it. He kept saying I was going to be his American girl. He got pretty far out before my brother was able to get help from other adults. It was terrifying. My sister died of a brain aneurysm while on vacation in Ireland in November. We had to get emergency passports and last-minute plane tickets to go see her. Getting her back to the US for burial was a clusterfuck. Me and my mom were driving cross-country 3 miles. We stopped off at a motel that backed up into a forest and got a room. Now, I'm a compulsive people pleaser. I don't like to make a fuss. But I only got a few feet into the door before turning around and telling my mom we needed to go somewhere else. What did I see, you ask? Spiders. Everywhere. It was like a scene from a fucking horror movie. And they weren't the good kind of spiders either. Black widows. The room was clean, so I assumed that it had simply been left for a while. Riptide in Costa Rica.iur. Last gasps, and a surfer grabbed me and pulled me up on his board. Up at the Grand Arch in Arches National Park. I had to back up a long way to get the whole arch in the photo, right? My buddy grabbed me by my shirt and a lot of chest hair. I was pissed and asked him what his problem was. He said, "Turn around, look." It was a good long drop, maybe 800 feet. I was right there at the edge,